The MediaPro interface packs a surprisingly large amount of functionality and information into this small space. There's a number of different sections, and we'll outline what we can find in each of those and how they're supposed to work together. Let's start with the area across the top. On the left-hand side here, we have some navigational items. The back and forward button work very much like a browser button. So if I select a couple of different folders here, when I hit the back button, it selects me back on the most recent item that I had selected. The home button shows every item in the entire catalog. These two buttons show and hide the info and organize panel. So clicking this shows and hides the organize panel, and then this switches it over to the info panel, which gives me information about one or more selected images, and then either hides it, and then I can select the Organize panel to see that again. Across the middle of the top, we have a set of icons that perform some action on the image. So for instance, this gives me access to my helper applications. This lets me send an email. This lets me set a label or a rating star for selected images. I can change my view options here. I suggest exploring these to get a good idea of the kind of functionality that MediaPro offers. Many of these also are contained in a right click. So for instance, the helper applications are shown right here, and setting your rating or label can be done down here. There's a search box here, and you can search on a bit of a file name or some kind of metadata, and any conforming images will show up there. Let's hit the home button and go back to where we were. Okay, across the top here of this area, we see the name of a selected image when you only have one selected. If you have more than one selected, it only shows you the one that is the most selected image. And then here we see the pixel dimension of the image, the size in megabytes, and the file format of this particular image. We also have the ability to rotate that image, to make our thumbnails larger or smaller, and in this flyout menu we also have control over thumbnail size as well as spacing between the images, which can be optimized for either verticals, horizontals, or both. There are three main views that we can have in the main image area. We can have a thumbnail view, which is what we're seeing here. We can have a list view, and we can have a media view, which shows one image at a time. Each of these different views can be configured in a lot of different ways, and you can save the configuration so that you can come back to them later. So for instance, if you're interested in keywords, I can set up a preset that shows me keywords underneath the images. If I want to see more keywords, I can devote more lines to those keywords. And we can see on some of these images we have more than one single line of keywords. And that same configuration can hold over into the list view. So I've configured this so that I have a name and keywords here. Here's another way you could set it up. So if you use location tags, country, state, city, location, I can set up in a list view to see that, and then I can also see that underneath the image here in the thumbnail view. You configure these by using the view options, and there's a lot of flexibility in here. So for instance, you can change the background here by selecting on the color, and then let's make it nice and ugly, and yeah, there we go. Let's take that back to where it was. I hit it like that and go there. I can change the color of the text. I can change how the text is centered here, whether I want to see what the label is, and again I can change my spacing here, thumbnail size, margins and shadows, and then I have the ability to change which information is appearing underneath the image in this fields area. And I do that by, let's go ahead and work on this one. The location, city, and state are tags that live in the annotations, and I can just take those off by hitting it like that. Now they appear and save in a list view here according to the order that you hit them. So if I do country, state, city, location, country's on top. But if I set this up with location, city, state, country, then location's on top. Once you get it to a configuration you like, let's go ahead and move this up a little bit, then you have this option sets item right here that lets you save particular configurations, and you simply save it and give it a name. And once you've done that, that now becomes one of the presets. These presets apply to all of the different views: list, thumbnail, and media. Down at the bottom left, we get an indication of how big the catalog itself is, and then this next number indicates the total size of all of the images that are currently showing. So if I click to show these 14 images that have 4 stars, it tells me that added all together, those 14 images take up 384.2 megabytes of space. On the bottom right, we can see that there are 28,000 images and 14 images are showing. If I select one of these images, then we can see that one is selected and it is the 5th in the list. So we get a ton of information here all the way around the window. Over in the Info and Organize panel, you can use these flyouts to customize which information you're going to see. I've got this set to show the ones that I use most typically. You also notice that one of these, the 4-star designation, is lit up in orange. And what that means is that a selected item belongs to this group. So if I select nothing, it doesn't light up in orange. And let's just show a whole bunch of images so we can see how this works. And let's make sure we're set to show the ratings. And so I've got a 3-star image selected, and you can see 3 lights up in orange. When I hold down the Command key and add a 2-star to the group, you can see now 2-star shows up, and same with 1 when I select a 1-star image as part of this group as well. Over in the Media Info panel, you can find out lots about the metadata of any particular image. So I've got an image selected here, and I can run through a bunch of the IPTC information here, including my contact information. I can also see the photo EXIF that the camera wrote into the file when the picture was shot, information about the media file itself, such as pixel dimensions and when it was created, as well as any keywords that might be associated with it, as well as a caption. And you can add, subtract, or replace caption information here, essentially by just putting your cursor in and typing. Up here at the top of the info panel, you have the ability to create metadata templates and to access ones you've made before, either here in Media Pro or if you had Expression Media or iView Media Pro. And if you've ever made any metadata templates in Adobe Bridge or Photoshop, you can access those same set of templates here inside Media Pro. In this flyout menu, you have the ability to configure which information is going to be shown over in the info panel. Set this up according to the ones that you like to use.